Hello, sportsmen. Big announcement. In 2 weeks, we will have on this show the hunter and his world record whitetail deer rack. I have been assured of this, and I have every reason to believe that we can deliver. Now, in the next half hour, we will take you to our bow camp 1998. You'll hear from MSU researcher Scott Winterstein on bovine TB in deer and more, so you stay tuned. I'm Fred Trost with an information-packed show for Practical Sportsman. Well, this is a departure from all the other years I've been camping in tents for our bow camp and gun camp. Now we're starting to do it in style. It's just practical, very frankly. Practical to have an RV, since I've gotten into it this year. There are all kinds of RVs that people use. You don't have to have a new one by any stretch of the imagination. The bow camp that we were invited to this year has a travel trailer, a pop-up camper, a motorhome, essentially here, and here's the gang.
My name's Tom Digert.
Okay, but we won't say where you're from.
No.
No, we don't want people looking this stuff up.
From here.
From here?
I may be living here for a while now.
From this camp. Okay, well, you have the little tent trailer.
Yes.
Or, no, the travel trailer.
The travel trailer.
Yeah.
Right.
And that we're going to go into that baby in a minute. And you, Tom?
Tom DeMuro.
Tom DeMuro, okay.
Right.
Give out the last name.
Last name. No
Okay. And you have how long have you had this tent camper?
problem. 3 years.
Use it with the family in the summer?
Yep.
When it's not broke.
Yeah.
When it's not broke. Let's see, Larry, you have the
Motorhome, right.
Now, this is not the latest vintage motorhome.
No, this is a 1977 motorhome.
Okay. 21 years old.
21 years
Did
old.
you buy it new?
No. I bought it used about 3 years ago.
Now, what do you pay for something like that?
I paid about $4,500 for it.
Oh, okay. So let's one thing you got to ask when you see this. I have never, ever in my life seen somebody level their camper by driving up on 2x4s and then a little teeny 2x4 under the tire.
I'm a professional.
You have it under both tires. How'd you do it?
It wasn't easy. No, I just put it there and drove up on it, and when I got up on it, I could feel it and stopped.
But what about the other tire? How'd you get the span?
I just laid them both the same and then just put them up there
A lot of trial and error?
twice.
Oh, okay. But you have it leveled.
I have it level.
That I really don't know. Why did you put the little one right under the tire instead?
It was the last
Okay.
board I found.
Last board you found, okay.
Because it's Larry.
Because it's Larry. Let's just check in here. Well, we won't have to check. We'll get some shots in here. Describe the inside.
It's just a bed in the back, bed on this side of the motorhome, and then I've got a kitchen down that side, closet, and my bathroom in there.
Mm-hmm.
Bathroom is quite small.
But do you use everything in there?
Everything in there is used until it gets too cold for the water pump to be operated.
Okay. Well, very good. And this, of course, these guys all use pallets here in front of the doors, which is really nice. A neat thing to do to, scuff your feet off and...
Scuff your feet off, get it cleaned up, and then we put the extra step there because my wife comes out quite often, and she's a short one, so we got an extra step for her.
Okay, well, very good. Now, over here, DeMuro, you have a, Jayco, that's a popular brand. They're a big company down in Indiana.
Yep.
Do you always cook outside here?
Always cook outside. Yep. Keeps the smells out of the camper. Just easier that way.
Well, it only smells of food, for crying out loud. It could be a lot worse.
Could be a lot worse, you're right.
Let's check inside here. Matt, you can come on in here, I think.
Come on in.
Yeah, these are surprisingly large
Yep.
inside. I don't know what the distance is from one end to the other. Who sleeps here?
Ryan sleeps there.
Ryan. Okay, Ryan, he's the guest. And, of course, you have a little sink here. Do you use this at all with the water?
Yes. Yes, we do. But I didn't bring any water right now because I didn't know how the weather's going to be like.
So you're just using it mainly for sleeping?
Yes.
Now, is it warm enough in here with the canvas?
We have the heater, so it really is pretty warm.
Okay.
Yeah, it stays pretty warm.
What do you pay for something like this?
$5,000.
$5,000. Buy it new or used?
New.
New?
New.
Very good. Well, okay, now we're going to go over into, we're into the bargain of all bargains. I mean, this is your travel trailer. What kind is this, anyway?
It is
Oh, he has to look.
Skylark.
A Skylark. Do they make them anymore?
I think they do, yeah. Company
Okay.
out of Indiana.
Now this is, look at this. This is quaint. As you go inside here, there's a sign that greets you at the door. It says right off the bat, "God bless our camper."
Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
This is you have a little dinette here on the back end.
That breaks down to a bed. And then this is a couch over here, and never put it up.
This right here for a couch? So you just use this as a bed and this for storage, it looks
Storage
like.
up there, yeah.
And then you have bathroom in here? Mm-hmm. Why, look at that. No shower.
No shower.
No shower. But this is an old Skylark.
Yeah, this is an older camper, and I bought it. It was kind of beat up on the inside and did some repair on it, but the price was right.
Repair? This here? This end?
I rebuilt it from here back. I shaved 2x4s and shaped them, and I put insulation in it.
Well, what was the problem?
They had a leak and they didn't fix it.
Water damage?
Yeah, it had been
So-
setting for a couple, 3 years, and
So what kind of cash did you have to lay out for a trailer like this?
$700.
$700? Holy cow.
And everything works.
You got the stove. Of course, we cooked on this last night. Had the spaghetti in here. Well, that's great.
The oven works, the fridge works, and the furnace works.
Furnace works. Well, you're all set. Very good. So do you use this for anything other than just deer camp?
I just got about the 1st of September, repaired it at home, and brought it out here right away.
Huh. Very good. Well, let's go out here and talk with the gang about their experiences. How long have you guys been into using, RVs here as opposed to tents and things?
Well, let's see. Last 2 years, we've had my camper out and Larry's motorhome.
Okay. And you picked up the trailer.
Yep, this year.
And now Tony and Troy,
This is our first year here.
but you're already negotiating right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We have one, but it's up north, and we're going to buy another one and put it here.
Another one. What do you have up north?
Fifth wheel.
Okay. And that's used for fishing?
Right. Yep.
And the one that you're looking at buying, I understand, is a 24-foot travel trailer.
Right.
For the grand price of?
Around 1,200.
What a
Strictly a hunting one.
A hunting one. Yeah, but you guys use this a lot. Who has tented in the past? All of you?
Yeah, we've all tended.
We've all tented, I think.
And what's the matter with it?
Nothing except it gets awful cold in the middle of a bow season.
Nothing except.
Wet clothes. Tired of wet clothes.
No place to go stand if it's raining.
Yeah.
You're stuck in the tent.
How about you, Troy?
Yeah, just cold weather.
Well,
Definitely.
don't like that. What about you, Dad? See-
Wind.
Wind! Oh, we have the
Like it
wind.
is
Well, we had
right
this
now.
fly going now. Ryan, you being the youngest in camp, what do you give a rip? You're a tenting boy, aren't you?
Yes, I am, except for the hard ground.
Oh, the hard ground.
The hard ground.
That's right, because you were a Boy Scout
Yes, exactly.
for many
You
years.
weren't supposed to tell everybody that.
Well, hey, almost an Eagle Scout. So this really, some people say this isn't camping, this isn't deer camp. You have the comforts.
No, this is deer camp. This is our deer camp. This is perfect.
You're up here for 10 days.
10 days. Yep.
Rat.
This is great. Now, you guys were looking at our pickup camper there, and you had different concerns about it, and I can't remember who had what, about what's wrong with it.
Once you put it in place, you have to move the truck with the camper. Wherever you go, the camper follows you.
Okay, then let me say to that,
Okay.
once we put it in place and want to move, we jump inside and move.
Drive it, yep.
You have to hitch all yours up and pack it up and put it away.
That's true, but we leave them here for the entire season and drive the cars back home.
Well, you see, we get to take ours with us wherever we go.
That's true.
You can
Well,
stop
that's
any
just
place
like-
you want, right?
Yeah.
He
Just
has
like
the
the motorhome.
motorhome, though, so
It's
we
just
can
like the motorhome. If you want to get in it and go, you get in it and go. So I mean that's why tent camper works the same way. I mean, or your pickup camper.
Yeah,
would
but
work
you
the
leave
same.
this motorhome out here.
I leave it out here when I'm here, but I've hunted all over with it. I've taken it from here. I mean, it's got a 350 V8. That's what it's designed for, is to go down the road.
Yeah. Okay. So we're moving around. You see, I mean, we're not saying there's anything
Oh,
wrong
no,
with
I
the trailer.
understand. No.
But
I
you
love
do
my
have to be a
trailer.
little defensive about
Of
it.
course I do. It's my trailer.
And you guys with a fifth wheel. Have you ever had a motorhome?
Yes. I've had a motorhome, and I've also had a pickup camper like yours.
Oh, okay. Well, come out here in the light here and tell us. So,
And a
so you
pop-up camper.
and a pop-up camper.
Right, yeah, we've been
Okay,
down all the
Papa.
roads.
Tell us.
Not that old.
Well, evaluate it. Give me the pros
I
and
don't know.
cons.
I like them all, really. The pop-up's nice because it's more room. The only problem with that is taking it down in the rain. And the time putting it up and taking it down. We liked our pickup camper when we had horses and did a lot of trail riding because we just hooked onto it and we could haul our trailer with it.
Okay. And of course, if you have a trailer, you can't
Right,
haul
you can't
another
haul a
trailer.
boat or anything. I guess you can with a fifth wheel, but ours is 30 feet long, so it's a little bit hard to haul a boat trailer with that. But they're all nice. Well, we've been camping for years.
Well, we just started using an RV for hunting and fishing this past year. I hadn't used one since the 70s, and these new ones are great. We can go more places, be more comfortable, have more fun than ever. You know, during Big Buck Night on public TV, we had a drawing for people who called in during the pledge drive to give away free one-week rentals of folding camping trailers. Here's the list of donors and winners. Marshall RV, WGVU in Grand Rapids, Ron Du Bois from Hamilton, winner. Dennis Trailer Sales, WKAR in East Lansing, Dean Krieger from Ionia, won. Circle K RVs, WFUM in Flint, to Gerald Moores from Lennon. Midland RV Sales, WDCQ in Midland, won by Richard Hunt from Midland. Vacation Trailer Sales in Benzonia provided the camper and a week at Vacation Trailer Park on the Betsy River in Benzonia to WNMU in Marquette, who drew Dave Mangini from Iron Mountain. And in Detroit at WTVS, the recreation rentals from Lowry Trailer Sales winter was Nick Robinson from Oakland, and the one-week motorhome rental from Lloyd Bridges Travel Land was won by David Daprick from Redford. We thank the Marvac members who donated these one-week rentals, and those of you who pledged and were a part of the drawings, and hope that the joys of RVing will make your hunting and fishing experiences even better. Last week we showed you some deer with strange tumors or cysts that hung from their bodies. I got a call from Don Ettinger from DeWitt, who took the video of this doe. Don said this doe came to the feeder every day and that over the winter they could see where this doe walked because she dripped blood in the snow. But over the winter that sac got smaller and smaller, and by spring it was completely gone. They couldn't even tell which doe she was. She blended in with the rest of the herd. So a good ending for a very grotesque growth, probably caused by an accident, maybe with a car. We don't know, and we never will. Now, in the news recently, we've seen headlines saying that Michigan's cattle are losing their TB-free status because bovine tuberculosis has shown up in 2 dairy cows in the past year in the northeastern part of the Lower Peninsula. That's where bovine tuberculosis has also been found in deer, coyotes, raccoons, and recently in a bear. Now, the DNR calls this 5-county area Deer Management Unit 452. And Detroit News outdoor writer Dave Ritchie reported that the state wants to end deer baiting over this bovine TB flap on the theory that deer are causing the TB to spread to the cattle. Now, it's not been proven. It's just a theory. But in Area 452, they've already banned any feeding of deer during the winter. Many landowners feel this is a big controversy because they feed deer in that area to get them through the winter. A lot of deer are expected to starve if they aren't fed. Now, some wildlife biologists feel that feeding wildlife can be harmful, as reported by Tony Hansen in the Lansing State Journal. Eric Sharp reported in the Detroit Free Press that the debate rages on. The problem is that the research is not conclusive as to why TB sprang up, how it spread, or what to do about it. Now in November, Dr. Scott Winterstein, who conducted research on deer feeding, showed up at our Deer Hunters Workshop at Annie Ray RV in DeWitt. I had a chance to ask Dr. Winterstein about the theory that TB is passed from the mother deer to the fawns, or just among deer in the same family groups. If that's true, this big feeding ban may be a big mistake.
We've also just started another research project to try to get at this question of, is there transmission within families? This is another issue that is a real potential other avenue of transmission. Now, we have to get at it indirectly because the only other alternative is to go out there while the family groups are together and just start collecting does and their fawns in large numbers and start sampling them. The way we're getting at it is looking at the genetics. With all the deer heads that come down out of the 452, they come down to be processed at the Rose Lake lab, then they go over to the university for being checked for the lymph nodes for pathology. We're taking a tissue sample from every single one of those deer that come down. We save those samples. When the TB results come back, we'll go back and match up the TB positive deer with that sample. Run a genetic profile on that, and then look at all the deer with TB for this year, a sample of the other ones, because they're going to get, I don't know, 8,000 deer this year maybe. We can afford to do about 400. So we'll probably look at 300 deer that didn't have TB, and there should probably be, I don't know, 75, 100 that do have TB. We'll compare is that group that has TB, is their genetic relatedness higher than what you find just in the rest of the deer? We'll do the same thing next year, and we'll start to compare back. Do we find yearling deer next year, let's say, that have the same genetic profile as does from this year? Okay, we start finding those links, then yeah, we're going to be able to show this is in the families. And I agree with you. It shows up like that, there's going to have to be a reevaluation of the strategy. So we're looking at that. We're trying to get at that question.
I bet you don't want me to ask you.
You can ask me anything you want. I never bet with anybody who's been to law school.
Are cows in danger of getting TB from the deer up there?
Well,
You can pass on that.
no, I don't know the answer, okay? But here's the part that I guess in some way defies a little bit of the logic. You look at the behavior of the animals, you say, it shouldn't be able to happen. But the laboratory in Iowa that checks all these things can also identify genetic strain of tuberculosis. The cow that showed up positive, every animal that showed up positive up there has the exact same strain genetically. Okay? The same one that's in the deer is in the coyotes, is in the raccoons, showed up in that cow. Now, how did that happen? I mean, if it were a different strain, and there are different strains of tuberculosis, if it were a different strain in that cow, then you'd say, nope, no connection. But it's the exact same strain. Everybody up there's got the same one. How did it happen?
Well, there's only one.
But how did that cow get it?
Wouldn't that sample be too small to draw a conclusion from?
Well, we're drawing different kinds of conclusions now.
It's only one cow and only a couple critters. So we're dealing with a real small statistical sample.
Absolutely. But the question still remains, that cow has bovine tuberculosis. It has the same strain as what's in the deer. Now, how did it get the same strain?
Let me jump to one last question. Should we starve the deer up in that area this winter?
You got any easy questions?
Oh, yeah, I'll tell you what.
Let me tell you. Okay, that, I don't know.
That's the best answer you could give.
Because, well, let me go back to that.
Stick with it.
My position in this, my role in this is we direct the research. We provide the information. I guess I'd say in defense of the people who are having to make these decisions, this is an unprecedented event. The year before we found the TB, 94, the first one, recent one showed up, a book came out. It was the results of a meeting that had been held of all the international experts on bovine TB. And in this book, in big print, it says, bovine tuberculosis cannot be maintained in a wild cervid herd. I mean, that was the international expert opinion at that time. Well, we got it. So something's going on up there. But there's no precedent to go back and say, well, this is the answer to it. People start finding TB in their deer herds in other states, they're going to be calling Michigan. Okay, you guys have had it, you know what to do. Okay. So people are operating under the best information they have available. Right now, the best information available on how you control this disease is you get the numbers down. Now, how you get the numbers down, that's somebody else's decision to make. I can tell you this. You got to get the numbers down because all the evidence so far says you got to spread these individuals out. You got to keep them away from each other. About the only thing we can do with deer to keep them away from each other is control the human feeding. Now, how we do that, how extreme it has to be, I'm not sure we know. But we got a couple different philosophies going. Ecologists, biologists like to talk about the carrying capacity. How many animals can the habitat support? And I say this with trepidation, but if you want to know how many animals they can support on that habitat up there, stop feeding them, and the number that survive the winter, that's the carrying capacity. And if we have to have wild animals that we have to feed in order for them to survive, are they still truly wild animals? Philosophical question. I don't know the answer. Philosophical question.
He gets the bravery award, doesn't he? I think a big round of applause. Scott Henderson, thank you so much.
This TB and deer and the deer starving and the ban on the feeding, the baiting, these are critically important issues. I know that was quite a haul there with Professor Winterstein, but hey, we got to listen to this. People who are making the decisions really don't have all the answers. We don't know how this is going to turn out. Well, let's take a look at our guide report. We don't know how the fishing is going to be now either. It seems to change with this weather. They're getting good pike and perch down here in the Detroit River, Lake St. Clair, perch and pike. Up in Linwood, perch averaging about 8 inches, and they're getting some walleye. Saginaw Bay over here on the west side, perch, walleye, pike, bluegill, excellent in the Whitehall area. Ludington, they're getting some good pike and steelhead on tip-ups, some limits of walleye. Up here in Lake Cadillac in Mitchell, good walleye, crappie, perch, and pike. I mean, fishing has really, in many places, been pretty good. They say it's great perch fishing in Van Etten Lake, but they're small, 7 inches. Alpena area, some limits of walleye, whitefish, Long Lake. Indian River, look at this mixed bag. Muskie, walleye, and rainbow. Mullet Lake, brown trout, and Burt Lake. Drummond Island has had excellent rabbit hunting. Pike have been good and spearing. Muskogee Bay is still producing those 8 to 15-inch perch and some limits of walleye. Over here at Bayshore, Gladstone, you're getting some good perch catches and walleye. Up in Marquette, they're saying Lake Independence up here is good for perch. Pike they're looking to pick up on Tanagan. Perch and pike have been slow, but they're getting some rabbits. Well, the snow, of course, this has been going here with the thaws we've been having, but there is quite a bit of snow in the northern part of the state, and the ice conditions, it's still holding up. I don't know how much of this thawing and freezing we can take, but our trophy tale comes from Roscommon County. Well, the picture that was in the local paper up there said, "Still out there." Bob Bennett from Warren released this 37-inch lake trout back into Higgins Lake after he caught it on a Rapala May 16th. Said it took him 20 minutes to land the lunker since he was using 6-pound test line. What was that all about? Fishing for lake trout?
No, actually I was fishing for browns and rainbows, using Rapala about this big in that light line, and my rod bowed way over. I set the hook and that thing just took right off, peeled off about 50 yards. And he almost spooled me. I had to turn the boat around and start chasing him to gain some line. The line went slack twice. I thought he was going to shake off, and he didn't. But fortunately, I just kept that drag light and just was nice and patient. Eventually, I got him.
In a 20-minute battle. How close to shore were you? You were trolling or casting?
No, I was trolling. I was out in the northeast corner over a drop-off. I hooked him in only 12 foot of water. And so when I was fighting him, we drifted over shallow water, and it was really a sight to see that fish broadside in that gin clear 4 foot of water. And my heart was thumping and pounding. He was 50 foot away from the boat for the longest time. I just kept thinking, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. You're mine.
Now, why? I got 2 questions about this catch and release. Why did you throw it back?
Well, usually when they're that size, they're not good eating. And the other thing is I'm recently divorced and can't afford taxidermy.
Okay. And that's the name of that tune. Congratulations, Bob Bennett. Next week, starting February 4th, we'll be at the Kellogg Arena in Battle Creek for the RV and Camper Show until Sunday the 7th. The 10th through the 13th, I'll be at the IMA in Flint for the RV Show. Doubling up that weekend in Novi for the week-long Detroit RV and Camper Show through the 21st. In March, it's Port Huron and Traverse City. Oh, that's a packed schedule, but it's where we'll be. Well, with that jammed calendar, I don't think we're going to get out ice fishing this weekend, but we will bring you the world record buck 2 weeks from tonight right here on this show. I'll have more details when you join me back here next week. To get in touch with us or to get information about the TV show or where we'll be or learn about RVOOM, the new Recreational Vehicle Owners Organization of Michigan, check out our website at www.outdoorconnections.net. You'll find our email address, our street address, our P.O. box, our phone number, our fax number. This website is a good way to get connected to all kinds of outdoor information. And we'll send you a free copy of our RV Camping and Outdoor Digest magazine. We just need to hear from you.
This is my sauce.
say my
Why
your
was he
sauce?
stirring my sauce?
This is my homemade sauce.
Are those meatballs in there?
Those are venison meatballs.
Venison meatballs?
Venison
You mix that
meatballs.
right in with the Prego?
Yes, sir. Cook them right up like that.
Is it really Prego or something like that?
It's a mixture. Yes.
It's hard to beat.
It's not scratch, but
Okay.
it's my concoction.
Is that the way your mom made it back in Poland?
so.
Poland.
Try that, Dagger.
So you put oil in with the water?
Yeah, you put a
Yeah,
little
bit
oil
of
in the water.
Yep. Keeps them from sticking.
Because I always heard
See?
that you drain
He
it
knows
and
the
then
same
put
thing.
oil in it, but
No.
you do it
No,
right with the
no,
water?
the water.
right when you first boil it.
Huh.
Keeps it from sticking.
Keeps
Now
it
what are
from
your
sticking.
credentials?
Italian.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The
Mama.
Miro.
Mira, okay.
Mama like Mama used to make.
Condell.
Condell?
Yeah.
Italian.
It probably
Condello.
was Condell when my grandfathers come over, probably.
I'm Irish.
Wow.
Well, we can tell that. All the signs are there. Well, he's tipping it up right now.